Silent at night, windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just
I had the honor to serve my country as a Navy corpsman. It's something I both cherish with nostalgia and lament with remorse. My name is J.C.Albaugh, and I served as a Navy corpsman between 2017 and 2022, leaving with the rank of HM2. I got my FMF pin back in Okinawa, Japan with CLB4, and I got my bachelor's without even using my GI Bill before I left the Navy. By spending a substantial part of my life in service to this country, I believe that I have a great deal of knowledge that can be shared with people who both want to serve their country or regular civilians looking to improve themselves. Right now, I'm sharing with you 5 pieces of advice that I learned as a Navy corpsman. But let's first set the stage and rewind the clock back to 2016, and I had just gotten kicked out of the Virginia Military Institute. Now, that's a story for another time, but basically when I got back to California, the very next day I went to the Navy recruiter's office. After some drama trying to find the right job for me, I ended up securing a corpsman contract with hopes of becoming a Special Amphibious Reconnaissance Corpsman. Spoiler warning, I'm sitting right now in front of the camera talking to you guys, so that gives a pretty good indication of where I went in my life. Lesson number 1, be patient and prepare. When I signed the dotted line in June of 2016 as a 19-year-old, I was ready to go right then and there. Much to my chagrin, however, my ship date wasn't until February that next year. While a lot of others might not have this problem when they join, especially those who try to go into open contracts, I was pissed. It took me some time, but I realized I couldn't whine like a little bitch, and I started to do something called proactively wait. During my time in the delayed entry program, I developed my mind with Navy knowledge, I developed my body by going to the gym, and I developed my spirit by seeking out church every week. For some of you hard chargers like I was when I was 19, you guys are going to have to do some waiting as well. Especially those who are trying out for special operations. They'll have to wait a year to even get into basic training, and this is where proactive waiting comes into practice. But in this world there are many distractions, and there are many things that can take you away from accomplishing your goals. And waiting is one of them. Trust me, waiting for several months just to get a shot at your dream may seem daunting to focus on. But remember and remind yourself every day, not just what you're doing, but why you're doing it. So lesson number 2. Focus on yourself, bro. So right after a breeze past boot camp, I ended up going to Joint Base San Antonio to do Corpsman A School. When I arrived, I was initially motivated and dedicated to earning my spot at becoming a Special Amphibious Reconnaissance Corpsman. Little did I know, something else would compete with my interest, women. Now they don't do this anymore, but back in the day, they used to pair up the Air Force Aerospace Medtechs with the Navy Corpsmen. So that's why my first girlfriend was actually found in the Air Force. And yes, I was 20 years old when I had my first girlfriend. I'm not ashamed of that. And I know what you're thinking, but for a 20-year-old virgin, yes, I was a virgin too, I was down bad. To make a long story short, my first relationship drained a lot of energy, resources, and time that could have been spent dedicating towards my dreams, and ended up crashing in a ball of flames. This is because I took the instant gratification of being in a relationship over long-term discipline. So gents, and maybe a few ladies, I got so consumed by a girlfriend to the point of losing focus on what I actually wanted. And after we broke up, when I moved to FNTB in Camp Pendleton, I was able to restart and get back on track into becoming the type of person that I wanted to be. Look, the reason why I took that detour and I lacked on my own dreams is because I not only lacked that discipline and I chose instant gratification, but I didn't have that mindset of abundance. What I mean by that is when I had that girlfriend, I thought that was the only one that I was going to get, so I had to make the most out of it. And a lot of this happens to other people. But the solution to that is overcoming your mindset. You have to believe that you are meant to have more and you are meant to have something great, not just in your dreams, but also in your relationships. And when you're going through the military and you're deciding to choose someone to be with, you have to decide someone who is going to be with you when the going gets tough and when you want to succeed, and someone who will be in your corner. Now I went through a fair share of women during my time in the military. Now I'm lucky enough to have met the woman of my dreams, and someone who just not only is kind, caring, and devotional, but also pushes me to become a better man. And that's what you need whenever you're trying to accomplish dreams, whether it's in the military or otherwise. The bottom line, relationships in the military are hard. And I feel like I need to bring this advice to the forefront because it's something that doesn't go talked about. Lesson number 3 is manage failure. So I got through boot camp, I got through culinary school, and then I landed in FMTB at Camp Pendleton. Now I had wasted my shot at A school trying to get a SARC contract, but I knew that I wasn't going to waste it at FMTB. So during FMTB, they'll pull those who want to become a SARC aside and they will give them a physical screening test, which is the same as the SEAL. So it's 500 meter swim, 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups, as many pull-ups as you can, and a 1.5 mile run. When I ended up passing that, during my time at FMTB, I was ecstatic. I was so happy. And I thought that I was going straight to the recon pipeline and I was going to be able to make my dreams a reality. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. The situation was too many people passed the PST and there weren't enough spots for the upcoming BRC class. So they ended up making us do something called the Recon Screener. It consists of a Marine Corps PFT, which is a 3-mile run, 2 minutes of sit-ups, pull-ups, with the adage of push-ups. Then we had to go do an obstacle course twice, and then we hit the pool, swam with camis for 500 meters. We did the underwater brick retrieval, and carry 25 meters. Then we went underneath the water for 25 meters. Then we would tread water in camis for 30 minutes straight. I had crushed everything else, but the only thing that held me back was the 25 meter underwater crossover. I didn't do the correct stroke. I ended up expending more energy than I needed to. I ran out of air twice and I was crushed. They told me I could try out again in the fleet, so that's exactly what I tried to do. I prepared myself even better than I ever was. I got into the best shape of my life. And when I took that PST, I crushed it. I got the paperwork, I got the package, I got everything ready to go. And I sent it up to the Corpsman detailer. After a short trip to Korea, I got back and I was told that due to bureaucratic reasons, that I wasn't selected for being a SARC. For those of you who want to undertake extreme endeavors, whether that's going into special operations or becoming an entrepreneur, you're gonna face failure, you're gonna face rejection, and you're gonna face doors just automatically slamming in your face. Most of those times you're not gonna have a reason why it happens. But when you're faced with those situations, you have a crisis and you have a decision to make. You can either 1, be a complete pussy and be a victim, or 2, make the most of your situation and try to do something great with it. For me, even though I did not end up earning the title of SARC, I did end up graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Political Science, graduating cum laude, and still having the full benefits of a GI Bill to spare. Lesson number 4, be good at all of your job. So during my first year in the fleet, I was assigned to SEAL B4, and unlike the traditional role of a line corpsman when you're with the Marines, I was part of something called the Regimental Medical Assistance Team. And what that consisted of is we were assigned to a battalion and we had a 3-fold mission. The first mission was to do administrative work, like paperwork, PHAs, which are periodic health assessments, and immunizations. The second was going to the clinic, doing sick call with the doctors and the IDCs. And then the third was to go out with the Marines and do what we call coverages. Basically making sure that the Marines are being safe. Now my bread and butter was being with the Marines. I loved doing it. I loved the first aid. I loved being out there and crushing it with some of the best men and women I've ever met. Whether or not you're a hard charger, you're gonna have to get good at pushing paper. I learned this by getting one of the worst ass chewings in my life, which at that point was medical records. I learned to get good at pushing paper after one of the worst ass chewings I've ever had. It was so bad that my LPO threatened to send me to our sister battalion in the regiment. I humbled myself, I ended up asking for help, and I got pretty decent at the ability to push paper. Now the previous advice I've given you has been all about my fuck-ups and failures, but this last piece of advice I give you because I was great at it, and it paid dividends. And that is lesson number 5, commit yourself to being a warrior healer. Look, I'm gonna be honest, the Corpsman rate is dying. What used to be the proud devil dogs has now been turned into a bunch of bureaucrats who try to get by selling the most cupcakes. If what our military and government leaders are saying is true, the conflict is going to arise, and it's going to arise fast. It's going to be a big one. What that means is we don't need corpsmen who are ibuprofen dispensers. We need corpsmen who are both technically proficient in medicine and tactically proficient as warriors, able to be assets and enablers on their Marine Corps, sailor, or even soldier teams. When you choose this profession and when you go greenside and you get that shield on your collar, that means something. You may not be the highest ranking person on your platoon, but you definitely have the responsibility of leadership through inspiration. That means you are going to be there during the worst days with your Marines, and you are going to be the rock that guides them. I'm very passionate about this because I believe in the power of hope, and that hope is bestowed within the responsibility of being not just a good but a great corpsman. I say this to you now, as the next generation of corpsmen start to come through, you are bestowed with a responsibility, and you need to just be able to step up to the plate. Let me be clear, I have nothing but love for those who have served, but I am passionate about making the next generation of this community, and Americans in general, better. That's all the time I have now. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. We're going to be doing more videos, hopefully ones that are a little bit more comedic. We're going to be doing sketches. We're going to be continuing on both self-improvement for civilians and military. This video is also sponsored by me. If you're looking to be a corpsman, you need to have the right ASVAB score. That's why I'm hosting a tutoring service on Fiverr. The link is down in the description. We have multiple options for you guys, and you guys will be taught by me to boost your scores so that you can become part of the next generation of Americans who are serving this country. For a love of all that is good and a God-given duty to protect that, I'll see you guys in the next one.